Uh, Good morning, 8th graders, and welcome back. Happy Monday. Today is August 30th, 2021, and the title for today's lesson is The Martian Villa. So you all will complete the video while you complete your Nearpod activities and your handout. You cannot skip questions, so please answer to the best of your ability, and I will be checking your answers in Nearpod to see what you are putting. So again, please make sure that you are answering to the best of your ability. Our daily objectives for today: students will be able to create complete complex sentences by correctly using subordinating conjunctions. Students will be able to explain how the Martian environment is changing the characters. So remember last week we talked a little bit about we talked a lot of it about how the characters are changing, and today you all are going to be able to thoroughly explain how they're changing in complete sentences. I want you to pay attention because in today's text, they are evolving even more. So let's get started. Let's read this sentence. Before I came to school, I put on clothes. This is the subordinating conjunction in the sentence right here. Before. Now we're going to read the next sentence. I will scream if a spider crawls on my face. This is the subordinating conjunction in this sentence. If. Let's read this sentence. Because it is so hot outside, I will stay indoors. Can you guess which one is the subordinating conjunction? If you said because, then you are correct. Because is the subordinating conjunction in the sentence. So what is a subordinating conjunction? A subordinate conjunction is a word used to connect two sentences. They can come at the beginning or in the middle of a complex sentence. So as you saw before, because can come in the beginning. We also had the word if, and there are other examples too that I will show you in a minute. To correctly write complex sentences, you need to know the definition of the subordinating conjunction. So that is, what does it literally mean? And then you also need to know the function of the subordinating conjunction. So how is it used in the sentence? Is it used to show chronology, meaning time and the order of time? Is it used to show contrast? Or is it used to show cause? Here are some functions of commonly used subordinating conjunctions. Chronological, after, before, when, while. So while we were eating, we saw my friend Jill. That's to show the time it happened. Or before I give you this piece of candy, I'm going to ask for you to complete your assignment. And then you also have contrasting. So if we go to the movies, we'll have to bring extra money. Even though I like backpacks, I normally wear a purse. You also have cause. Because they were on Mars, they were being exposed to radiation. Since Harry doesn't like it on Mars, he will decide to go back home. So this is different examples of subordinating conjunctions and their functions. And you can pause the screen here to locate this also on your handout. Now, what is the definition and function of the subordinating conjunction in this sentence? Before I came to school, I put on clothes. I want you to now, at this time, answer this question. What do you think the definition and function of the subordinating conjunction is in this sentence? What is the definition and function of the subordinated conjunction in this sentence? I will scream if a spider crawls on my face. Look at your chart if you need help finding what you think the function of the subordinating conjunction in this sentence is. Pause the screen here to answer the next question on your screen. Now, punctuation is very important. If you're planning to do well in social studies class, you should always study for exams. So here's the correct way to answer this question. If you're planning to do well in social studies class, look how I added the comma. See that punctuation? You should always study for your exams. When we're thinking of commas, that means we're breaking up both of the sentences, and that's when you have like a pause in a sentence. If you're planning to do well in social studies class, you should always study for your exams. So we have an independent and a dependent clause. So oftentimes on STAR sentence questions, a complex sentence beginning with a subordinated conjunction will be lacking a comma, and students must determine where the comma goes after the end of the dependent clause. Because of this, it's very critical to enforce the correct placement of the comma in your sentences. So again, after the end of the dependent clause is where your commas will go. After the end of the dependent clause. So for example, you should always study for your exams is your independent clause, because you can literally have this as a sentence by itself. Our dependent clause starts with a subordinating conjunction, which is if. It says if you're planning to do well in social studies class. This is a dependent clause because you need something else to go after it. So whenever you are looking at questions, you always put the comma after the end of the dependent clause because you need something else after it, which is the independent clause, which is in this case here. You don't need anything else after. You should always study for your exams. Now pause the screen here and you're going to answer the question on your screen. Good job. Now, punctuation is very important. You try. How do I make this correct? This is the question that you saw on your screen, and if this is how you put it in the open-ended question box, then you got this answer correct. Even though I love fast food, comma, I try to eat healthy foods instead. This is my dependent clause. I put a comma after it because something has to come after this. Even though I love fast food, there has to be an independent clause after this. And as you see, this is independent. I try to eat healthy foods instead. Now, pause your screen to answer the question on your Nearpod. Great job. You just answered 3 questions on the Nearpod and you got some good practice in. So now that you are able to practice, we are now going to stop and we're going to open Dark They Were and Golden Eyed. We'll start at scene 8 and we will finish at 11. All right, so you will pause the screen here, and when the video is over, you will be done reading scenes 8 through 11. And then we will move on to our handout. All right, so now we've gotten into the group work portion of your day where you will complete the questions that say read, write, discuss, revise on your handout with a partner. After you have completed the read, write, discuss, revise, you will move on to the independent practice portion of your handout. And that looks like this. For the independent practice, you have the option of going back through this video to get assistance with learning how to complete sentences with capitalization and punctuation. Again, if you need to, you can always rewind this video so that you can use the tools to finish this portion of the assignment. All right, so once you finish the independent practice portion of your assignment, you will move on to opening up your 4-paragraph essay outline. And Ms. Nelson is going to go over the details of what that looks like, whole group. So if you are done, go ahead and check your answers and raise your hand if you need any assistance, because we will go over our 4-paragraph essay outline from last week to conclude the day.